Welcome to another Cardano update. So as you can see, we are kind of bouncing now, but of course this does not confirm that the B wave is already in. And like I said, this B wave is pretty impulsive, which leads me to believe that maybe this is not actually a B wave, and maybe we'll just invalidate everything that we did in the previous month or so, and we will get another low because, like I said, this is way too impulsive for a B wave. Now the good thing is we did not break below these lows right here, at least not yet, and we did get some kind of pump after this, so theoretically you could say that the low is already in, but to be honest with you, this already looks like a 5-wave move, so I don't know what will happen now. There is a chance that we break down, but there is also a chance that we go in a C wave. To confirm that we are actually in a C wave up, first I need a break above 41.6 cents. And from where we are at right now, that's still far away, so I don't know if that will happen, and we got rejected by the trend line again, so maybe it's safe to say that we will get another low in the main second wave before we actually start pumping. Now, just to remind you where we are at right now, we are currently in a 1-2 setup, so we went up in an ABC structure in the first wave, which got to the 2.272 extension of the 1-2 setup right here. The C wave got to that extension, and we did not get a 5-wave move up, we only got 3 waves for the first wave, which I did not really like and I still don't like, but you can count this as a first wave. It's not a reliable first wave, but it can be counted as a first wave. Then we had an ABC structure in the second wave move down. We went exactly to the 0.786 extension, and in my opinion, if we want to stay bullish, then this should be the low of the main second wave right here, because you could always say that maybe this is actually an A, B, C structure and we will get another low in the second wave right here before we actually continue with the third wave. I don't like that theory because one, we already went to the 0.786 extension in the A wave right here, and two, the B wave was an overshooting B wave, so that does not really work for me. But of course, you could say that maybe this is an ABC structure, but that would not make sense because, the first wave took about, let's say, almost 20 days. If a first wave takes like 20 days, the second wave has no reason to take like a month and a half, in my opinion. So I think this scenario is very, very unlikely. Now, if it does happen, you have to keep in mind that if we go below the 0.786 extension right here, it's very likely that we will go below this low as well, and then the scenario right here will get invalidated and the 1-2 setup will get invalidated as well, and we would have to restart it after getting another low in the main second wave move down. Also, something else that I wanted to keep in mind is that the invalidation point for the first move to the upside and the second wave move to the downside, so this 1-2 setup, is at 22 cents, so we cannot really afford to put in more lower lows, because if we do that, there's a big chance that we just invalidate the 1-2 setup, and that would not be the best thing ever. Also, we got rejected by the bull market support band, and if we want to stay bullish, we still need to get above it, and we need to stay above it. So when we got above the bull market support band here, I said that if we get rejected by it, we should get above it ASAP after that, because if we do not, then it's going to look like a rejection, and usually if we get rejected by a bull market support band on any chart, we usually put in another lower low in the main move of that wave. So it's not the most ideal looking chart right now, and of course this looks very, very choppy and it does not really look trustworthy. But like I said in many videos, it could start bouncing at any moment, and honestly, that would make sense considering the fact that Bitcoin dominance is very close to topping. I've already talked about that multiple times. I will talk about that more very, very soon. First, I want to talk about the third wave right here. So in a bullish scenario, if we go in a third wave move of the third wave, well, if we go in a C wave of a third wave, then we should get to at least 52.7 cents, which is the 200% extension of this 1-2 setup. If we do not get to that level, then we will most likely not be able to complete a third wave move, which means that we will most likely get another low in the main second wave right here. However, if we do get to the 52.7 cents level, then I will be able to count this as a third wave move up. Then we'll need a fourth wave move down, of course, and then a fifth wave move up. And the fifth wave move up, I mean, I don't know how high this will go. It could obviously go higher than the first wave move right here, but it does not have to. It could obviously go lower than that. But once we get these 5 waves, then I will be able to confirm that the low is actually in the main second wave right here. Now, I also want to talk about the short-term potential. So if you look at the 4-hour RSI, we went to the oversold territory right here, which leads me to believe that we will get some kind of pump, at least a corrective pump, which should put us at least the 39.5 cents level. And when we do that, and I think that will happen very soon, we are going to test the bull market support band again. And if we get rejected by it again, then it's going to be very likely that the 1-2 setup right here, this right here, will get invalidated and we will get another low in the second wave move down. This could also be a diagonal, but I don't want to talk about that because I don't think that's the case right now. And also keep in mind, we did break out of the falling wedge pattern and we did get above the trend line right here, but that does not mean anything if we keep breaking below it. So, we have to stay above it if we want to stay bullish, and we have to get to my target regions first and get 5 waves to confirm that the low is in. Now, I want to talk about Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance is currently at 58.12%. As you can see, it just got overbought on the 4-hour chart, so we will most likely see a huge correction, well, not a huge correction, a small correction in the short term, and that could put Cardano at these levels right here. But after that, it will most likely start pumping again, and we will most likely get to about 60%. Now, I don't know when that will happen. Honestly, I kind of want to see that happen this month, because if it does not happen this month, I think it's very likely that we keep going up until December, which means that the altcoin season might get delayed. So if Bitcoin dominance continues doing this until December, there's a big chance that the altcoin season will happen at the end of the year and it will not actually start in October, which will not be good, obviously, because, altcoins are not doing that well right now. I mean, if you look at Cardano, it's almost at the invalidation point right here. Of course, we are at 35 cents now, and the invalidation point is at 22 cents, but still, you have to keep in mind that we cannot be in this second wave move down forever. We cannot afford to be in a second wave move down for another 2 or 3 months. That's just not going to work. We need a third wave move to the upside, or at least we need a 5 wave move to the upside to confirm that the second wave move down is actually in. If we do not get something like that, it's going to be very likely that this move will get invalidated and the whole 1-2 setup will get invalidated as well, which will not be good. Now, if you look at the daily RSI on the Cardano chart, you'll see that we are at an RSI of 41 right now, which is good, but that does not mean anything because we could always go to the oversold territory first, and if we do that on the daily, we will most likely put in another lower low right here. So if we want to stay bullish, we kind of have to start doing something like this on the daily and get to the overbought territory, maybe to an RSI of 85 on the daily, and get to the 52.7 cents target to finish the third wave. Then after that, we can actually cool off for a few weeks, maybe in the fourth wave move down, and then a fifth wave move up, like I said, will finally confirm that the low is in. Until then, this is just noise, and Cardano has pretty much been going sideways since June, so at some point we have to do something, and I don't know when that is. To be honest with you, like I said, if we do not top on the Bitcoin dominance chart soon, then it's going to be very likely that Cardano will keep underperforming against Bitcoin, and I don't know if we will put in another lower low. I think that will only happen if Bitcoin decides that it wants to drop 10K or so. And I don't see that happening because usually in October, November, and December, Bitcoin does not really go down. So if we somehow continue going up on the Bitcoin dominance chart until December, I will not expect Cardano to put in another lower low. That will only happen if Bitcoin somehow decides that it wants to go down 10K, like I said. So yeah. I still think it's possible for Bitcoin to get to 100K by the end of the year, but that does not mean that if Bitcoin goes to 100K, the altcoin season will start. The altcoin season will most likely start after Bitcoin gets to 100K. And I've read a comment yesterday that said that it's impossible for Cardano to only be at 80 cents if Bitcoin is at like 100K. And I have to disagree. I mean, if you look at where Cardano was in the previous cycle right here, before the altcoin season happened, Cardano was at 7 cents. And if you look at where Bitcoin was during that time, Bitcoin was at about $10,000. So, you know, right now Bitcoin is at 61K and Cardano is at 35 cents. So it's pretty much the exact same thing as in the previous cycle. So anyways, that's all I have for today. I hope you understood what I meant there. Consider checking out the memberships on Patreon and on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one.